As entrepreneurs. So I'm titling my impressions of today, the storytelling competence, that the fact that we as entrepreneurs need to build a storytelling competence within us, within our organizations. Now, 5 things to think about when we think about building our storytelling competence. The first thing is to study the best storytellers. Shane alluded to the fact that the best storyteller ever was Steve Jobs, and I totally agree with him. But there are other great storytellers, one from this country, Elon Musk. If you've read his book or listened to his audio book, you'll understand how important storytelling was part of his success. But there are many, many entrepreneurs right around the world that have become successful. And when you understand it more clinically, you understand that really what they have done really well is tell really good stories, tell their story, their vision really, really well. So go study the best. Number 2, is be yourself, not them. And this is about being authentic. Too often where I meet entrepreneurs who understand the importance of storytelling, they try to be like Steve Jobs, that, you know, almost to a T, where they wear that black turtleneck and the jeans, and they very much have this attitude that they are the new Steve Jobs. There is no such thing as the new Steve Jobs. You have to be the you, not the new you, the authentic self. When you are you, when you are authentic, your audience, both internal and external, appreciate that, and it starts to resonate with them more. When you are inauthentic, it does not resonate. So spend a lot of time trying to understand what is your style of storytelling, your style of presenting your vision, and then go and do it. The third thing is around being consistent. And too often I see entrepreneurs who tell their stories and in one context, and it's different to in another context. And so you have to be meticulous about being consistent in your storytelling. So as an example, I wrote a book called Lose the Business Plan. There is no way that I could be writing an article or talking about the importance of a business plan when I've written a book about Lose the Business Plan. There's no ways I could be writing about the 10 most important things to put in a business plan when I've written a book called Lose the Business Plan. So you have to make sure that you are consistent in your messaging and that you don't contradict yourself from one context to the other. The fourth thing is to over-communicate your story. We heard Shane talk about that. He alluded to that around over-communication. And I think this is a critical point, is the fact that we should find every opportunity to communicate and communicate and communicate. It's something that you see that great entrepreneurs do. They communicate in emails, they communicate in meetings, they communicate on video, they communicate in various media, and they communicate the same messages time and time again. You might think that it's boring, but it's very important that there's an overemphasis of communication versus an underemphasis on it. And the last point that I really want to make, and this is, I think, an important one, is the fact that you should include all stakeholders in your story. So when the great storytellers are telling stories about how the different stakeholders participate in the story, because let's be honest, we all have self-interest in mind, and when there is a story where we are involved in that story and we can see ourselves in that story, we're far more likely to want to be part of that story. When the story is about other people and we are excluded, we're less likely to participate. So ensure as an entrepreneur that you're including all stakeholders that are part of your journey as an entrepreneur.